behind, if you will. Most of the time, people that are in high school, college, whatever, they can function mathematically or with their reading skills or writing skills at the level that the majority of their peers are at. In the case of a student that has accommodations, however, that element of their brain doesn't function the exact same as somebody else. It doesn't mean that they can't do it. It just takes longer. It takes more time. It takes more practice. It takes different examples, different setups for them to have an understanding of what it is that is being presented to them. So, for example, vocabulary, you may present that in a sentence form with a blank as opposed to a definition, where they can pull the context as opposed to the full meaning.
I knew Olivia needed accommodations in 3rd grade. However, I had to fight with Bath Public Schools for a special ed referral until she was in the 8th grade, which was super frustrating to me, and I legit had to fight for this. And finally, somebody listened to me, and she was tested for special education and found eligible. And in place were her accommodations, which I felt were very appropriate, and she cried, and it was sad, and it was mortifying to me. I hated it that my little girl thought she was not good enough at school, that she had to be in special ed and cry. And it broke my heart, actually. One of the best things about Olivia is that she's resilient. When she was in 9th grade and she had to attend her IEPC for the first time, and she was absolutely devastated. However, the accommodations that we put in place for her have improved her grades tremendously. She has gained confidence. She knows how to advocate for herself.
So we first noticed that Ashlyn was struggling with her reading and falling behind from her peers right around 1st grade. We started reaching out to school, talking about different kinds of assistance. 2nd grade, we went to an outside psychologist and had an evaluation done, and she was diagnosed with a processing disorder, a form of dyslexia. We still struggled years after years of getting assistance. Lots of tutoring within the school, Title I, paid for tutoring outside of school. Finally, 7th grade, we got an official IEP with some accommodations, which helped tremendously as far as not just the schoolwork and not just with the reading, but really with her self-esteem, not having to take as many retakes, not having as many failing grades initially, I think was really helpful for her self-esteem and her confidence, which went a long ways to building her reading skills. She continues to grow, and now as a senior and having accommodations for this long, she is able to advocate for herself.
Where are you now?
Olivia and Ashlyn are both in our AP Psychology class, and I'd argue they've made very good use of their accommodations through this class. Both of them use some of the extra time on their tests, and the way in which they use it is they go through in a detailed way their tests and look for certain vocab where they're struggling and get additional help. Throughout the year, I've seen a lot of growth out of both of them through this process, and they seem to really be engaging with the curriculum, and I couldn't be happier with the progress that they've made. And I would argue that their usage of the accommodations has been one of the major factors in their success so far in class.
Going through all these challenges at a young age was very difficult, but our beautiful moment is having the support from friends, family, and school staff by our side through these challenging times.
They have encouraged us to work hard and to not let our learning disabilities affect us in learning and in life. Without them, we wouldn't be where we are today, and we couldn't give them enough thanks.
Hey.